Hi everyone, and welcome back to It's a Twin Thing. I hope you all had a really great weekend. Today's topic is crying. So in infants and newborn babies, crying is their only source of communication. So a baby will cry for numerous reasons, some of which are hunger, that they've got a dirty nappy, that they may suffer from colic. So 1 in 5 babies can suffer from colic, which is for an adult similar to acid reflux. So they're really agitated in their bellies. So if they're inconsolable, a lot of the times it could be potentially that they are suffering from colic. But you process of elimination when a baby's crying. So you try and feed them, you change their nappy, give them a cuddle. There's all sorts of things, and if they're still crying, then potentially there's other reasons as to why. Making sure obviously you check their temperature, they haven't got a fever, they're not unwell. With our children, my daughter would only cry if there was a problem, as in she was hungry or she needed a diaper change. My son would cry because a lot of the time, we didn't know this at the time, but he was overtired. So my daughter showed signs of being tired, so she would rub her eyes and whatnot, whereas he wasn't as obvious when he was tired. So he would become overtired, and then he was really hard to settle, and he would cry because he was tired and he didn't understand why. So we would often rock him, which, I know some parents sort of don't agree with rocking and doing the control crying. We did try that, didn't work for us, and a lot of the times having twins, it doesn't work. So we would rock him and console him, and that would, once we settled him, he wasn't asleep, but he was settled, then it was a lot easier then to put him to sleep, put him down. When he's overtired and cranky, there was no point in even trying to put him down until we could sort of settle him first. But normally in the first, say, 4 months is when a baby will kind of cry the most. And then as they develop and as they mature, they learn how to communicate on a different level. So now my son, he will still cry if he's overtired or if he's hungry or if there's a problem, but he won't just normally cry for the sake of crying. It's so normal that they cry. It doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. You're not bad parents if your children cry. It's so normal. For a parent, it's purely just working out why. And because it is their only form of communication, and obviously they're not talking, you've just got to, like I said, process of elimination. So it could be a burp. It could be colic. It could be, I'm hungry, feed me. And I think it's, from what I understand, formula-fed babies are different to breastfed babies. So if they are formula-fed and it's been over 2 hours, feel free to give them some more food, and hopefully that does settle them. There's a lot of talk in regards to feeding babies to soothe them from crying. I know with our children, if they were unsettled or crying, a lot of the times a bottle would soothe them. So some parents may disagree. We did that. So if they were unsettled, we'd try and give them a bottle. If they took it, they would take it, they would settle, and then we'd put them to sleep if it was bedtime or whatnot. Dummies, we did use dummies. Some parents don't agree with dummies. Because it doesn't assist with self-soothing. It also goes along with the whole control crying type thing. You're going to have parents that are routined with control crying. You're going to have parents that are no routine whatsoever, and just basically accommodating to what the baby wants. We tried to have routine. We had routine when we came home from the hospital. We tried to maintain routine, but to be honest with you, from my opinion, the babies are consistently changing. You need to be adaptable. You need to be flexible with their needs, because then when teething hits, they're changing again. So trying to give too much structure, I believe, to a child isn't easy. and didn't work for us, especially having twins. We tried the controlled crying thing. With 2 babies, it's too hard. Like, one would cry, one would wake the other. My son was the more unsettled one, so I try and put him down to bed sooner, and then once he was asleep, I would then put my daughter down. But if he woke while I was putting her down, then you're back to square one. So when I talk about sleeping and settling, I'll talk about that on another day. But each to their own. You really have to work out what works best for you. I don't believe there's any right and wrong. We did things a certain way, and maybe we didn't do things right, but that's just how we found what works for us. But yeah, so with crying, like I said, it is a process of elimination because it is their only form of communication at that young age. And it's just working out what's causing the problem. It could be that they're teething young. Some babies start teething at 2 months. Some babies are born with teeth. Some babies don't teeth till they're 1. So you've got to sort of work out what's bothering them, and you're not always going to get it right. So just be patient, as hard as it is. And yeah, so you just got to take each day at a time when it comes to crying. But it's normal. You're great parents. A baby crying is completely normal. So you know it's hard, and especially with twins, but it's completely normal. If you've got any questions about it, please feel free to contact me. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking about rolling, so when babies start moving and rolling. So tune in and we'll chat then. Have a great day.